Hey guys, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be dealing with loops in JavaScript. Quick one. This is my third time recording this class. Because for some reason, I always end up, especially in the white loop area, I always end up making infinite loops. Which always makes ends up stopping the recording and having to restart and it's getting tiring. So that's why I'm not using CodePen and I'm going to be running it on just the console. So in JavaScript, basically the concept of loops is sometimes we might have actions that we have to perform a lot of times, right? So imagine I'll test console log number 1 to 100. I would have to console log 1. I would have to write manually console.log 1 and I have to paste this several times. Because I'm using this, I can't really write. It's true, sha. I can't really write um, lines of code. So I'll just create another file on Google Docs. Then run the code here. Yeah, I'm writing code on Google Docs. Use that. So if I wanted to do console log 1, 2, 3, or let's say 4, the current knowledge we have would have to do it manually, right? Which doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Imagine this. We'll get my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But loops allows us to do iterations like this, things that are common and very like the values, like probably just one of the values changing or two of the values are changing. Allows us to iterate things quicker. And in JavaScript, we have like four, five types of loops. We have the while loop, we have the do while loop, which is like iteration of the while loop. We have the for loop, we have the for in loop, we have the for of loop. For this lesson, we'll be taking these three here, the why, do, why, and for. For the for in and for, I think that's like the scope of today's class. So basically, how does the while loop works? This is big enough. So for the while loop, imagine we wanted to let's perform the action we performed, count from 1 to 5. Now we just have to I would create a constant mistake, create a variable count and equate it to 0. Then let's see. Then we start the loop with the y keyword, then a condition, then an action that would occur if this condition is true. So console log, like we did, console.log counts. That's what I want to do. But basically, if this condition is always true, this loop would continue to run forever, like to infinity. And we do not want that to happen. And so the condition will be y count is less than 6. Count plus plus. We have to increment count. Because after this loop prolongs, increment count here, and now count is 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let me just copy and paste this. You would see. We should come to log 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What error? On count got to 0. Unexpected identifier. Let's see. Okay. Oh. I'm using let in capital letter, docs capitalized words. I see. Uh, JavaScript case sensitive. So that will give us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this 5 isn't double, it's just that it would output the last digits. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us, as you can see, console log, console log. These are console logs. And we did the same thing with fewer lines of code. And you might not see the benefits here, but you start to see the benefits if you wanted to come to, like, let's say 100. And we just come here. See, I'm writing 101 because if I use 100, it comes to 99. Yep. So instead of writing console log 1, 2, 3 to like to 100, yeah, this 4 lines of code or 5 lines of code did the exact same thing. And one very important thing in loop is a loop should always have a base case in which it breaks off. If not, it would just go on forever. And you do not want your loop to go on forever. You do not. Why I'm using this is because the way CodePen works, I'm typing most of the time, every time, like I'm typing is running the code. So I might write this while loop. And before I can increment the count plus plus, CodePen will run the code and throw enter into an infinite loop. Let me open this tab here and show you what an infinite loop is. So I just copy this. And there are multiple ways of writing an infinite loop. But the best way will be y count is greater than, let me count 1 year, and count is greater than 0. This would always be true. Because this is just going to keep on increasing, and so always be greater than 0. If I should run this, would run into an infinite loop. This is still running, by the way. Yep. As you can see, that's that's an infinite loop. The console has gone blank, and I can't do anything in this tab again, like at all. And that's what was happening with the code pen, and so I was not using like an ID and running it locally. That's what's happening. So you get what I'm using. Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. So basically, that tab has died. This tab is dead, as it should be. And that's what you get when you run an infinite loop. Then next is the do while loop, right? So we have done the while loop. Basically, you can also loop through an array using this method. But the do while loop is something like if you have a situation or a scenario where you want to run a function first before initializing a loop, we use the do while loop. You want it to do something, and in this case, let me just console.log count. In this case, you initialize count. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not initializing. It's console logging count. I did the first console log count before it starts the loop. Let me see. Okay. Do. We're getting the whole case sensitive ish. Let's see. This runs it's not defined as oh oh. Okay. Frustrating. I think the next time I'll be making videos, I would have to use like a spreadsheet. I said spreadsheet. I would have to use like a PowerPoint slide. Yep. This has entered an infinite loop. Again. Okay, that's an infinite loop. And this will keep on running and keep on using memory on the stack till it gets to stack overflow. Once again, this was the mistake I was making and not realizing why count is less than. And since it's zero, it's always going to be less than. Interesting stuff. I should really stop giving myself infinity loops. I've closed the tab and it's not going to close till it runs into a stack overflow error. It's like going to open my browser, which should not be. Okay, it has closed, it has run into the stack overflow and it has closed. Oh, I really hated this topic, or still really hate this topic. Then I think that's about it. That is the do I that is the do while loop. So basically what the do while loop does is it runs do, then it runs before it starts the loop. And always remember to have a base case, not hook your browser like me. And next, this pattern of let's count the equal to zero, why this was so popular that led to the creation of like the follow. And JavaScript provides a way to easily do that. Or most language, not just JavaScript, provides a way for you to easily do that. Um, let's check if I'm still recording. Okay, I am. So moving on to the follow. Similar still a loop and the old base case ish. I think you use more for loop than you use more while loop because it really prevents that infinity loop and a lot of stuff unless you don't know what you're writing. But now it's I it starts with a variable or a counter of some sort, then a comma, then a condition. Why I is less than 7, comma. Then what do you want to happen after the loop runs? Like the action that occurs after the loop runs. I want to increment I plus plus. Now I can just come here and just write so.log. And to basically just do the same thing that I did initially. That has already been declared. Interesting. Data equal to 0. Okay. Data equal to 0, comma. Is that a comma? I'm coming. That should be a semicolon. Unless I forgot how to write for loops. Yes, that's not a comma. It's a semicolon. I was using a comma instead of a semicolon, which was throwing. Yeah, it didn't work. Sha. So change that to a semicolon, and it should work just fine. Right. So that's basically the whole loops topic. Right. Right. So let's loop through an array and see. Probably let me create an array. Constant. Let me show you some loop practice. Name equal to Anthony. Move down to loop through my name and console log each of these letter. Write a for loop and let I equal 0. Right? Why I it's less than name dot length, and that's about right. A plus plus. Now I'll just have to console log. It should work. I I think it should work. I think. Let's see. Unexpected or invalid token. Where exactly? Interesting. Let's debug. This should work. I see no reason why it shouldn't. Of why can't I assign console log? I'm coming to the log source. Unless the double quotes, probably I think this is because of this double quotes. It should not be. It's just weird anyhow. Let's try it again. Still not working. Interesting. So I'll just manually like write the code. Let's name. Oh, interesting. If I just copy this code and paste it here, probably I want to look through name. That works. For some reason, when I copy directly from docs and paste it here, it's I don't know if it's not considering it as a string. So it's showing this invalid or unexpected token error. But it's achieved what we wanted to do either ways. So it printed my name Anchony. And you can use this together with your CSS to create like very wonderful animations. Probably want to spell the name one by one on the screen. You can put a delay. technically you can't. It's based on certainty. You can't really put like a set timeout in a for loop. I don't think it's asynchronous, so it's no wait. But there's a way to tweak it so you can create this spelling. I think I used it for one of my portfolio sites. I think version two of it. I don't think it exists again, but it should be somewhere on GitHub. So that's one way to do it. Then probably have an array of objects. Let me just write it. I think after this example, that will be it. Let's say age, and that we have 12, that's 4, and 4, 7. And wanted to look through this group of age. Basically, what's this? Okay, I'll just tweak this for loop I wrote here and change this to age. Now it will be console login. The age of person, age of person one, hi, is this. Hopefully this should work. Hopefully. Let's test it out. So it didn't. Invalid syntax. Not syntax in general. Once again, the braces. So let me just write. Let me come here and adjust it. Very weird behavior. Now that's a string. At least that's how a string should look like. I think that should do it. End up getting the age of. Let me space this. So end up getting the age of person 0. Yeah, I don't want the age of person 0. So let me do plus 1. Because I've forgotten the counter is like 0. And yeah, we just have to do plus 1. And run this. Shrinkified it. True. Should have put it in. Okay, the age of person 01 is 12. The age of person 2 is 24. Person 3, we could just increment I here, or could have wrapped this, put it in a bracket or something, so we get like the right figure. Instead of, because JavaScript is loosely typed, so if you do not really specify the type, it just does jargon like this, and you end up getting unexpected results. Right. That's it for um. That's everything about loops, at least for now. Next is classes, and I think I'll use CodePen for that, and that should be like the last video in this beginner series for JavaScript. All right, that's all. Let me stop the recording. Bye, guys.